Heyo guys, King of Juice here with a Splitgate 2 information and speculation video. We're going to start things off today by informing you about what we know of Splitgate 2 so far in regards to weapons, equipment, maps, and modes, and then we're going to make some speculations based off of some community feedback in the official Splitgate Discord. And remember, without you guys, none of this would have been possible. Alright, first thing worth mentioning is factions, and I can't stress this enough. Although we have seen multiple characters in teaser trailers, there is no evidence stating that Splitgate 2 will have any sort of hero shooter elements whatsoever. But there are three factions that you need to know about: Aeros, Meridian, and Sabrask. Although each faction does have its own unique ability and passive team traits, 1047 Games have stated they don't have any interest in making a fourth faction. Aeros gets a rush ability, which gives you a movement and reload speed boost, plus the one-time health boost, and the Taskmaster team trait, which gives you faster ability cooldown for you and your teammates. For Meridian, you get a hypersight ability, which briefly reveals enemies through walls for you and your teammates, and a wellness team trait, which gives you faster health regeneration for you and your teammates. Sabrask gets a smart wall ability, which allows you to deploy a transparent barrier wall that you can shoot through but enemies can't, and a fortitude team trait, which allows your equipment to recharge faster for you and your teammates. Just looking through everything to show you guys what there is so far, right away worth mentioning that each faction does have their own variant of each one of these, as well as pistols. Also, weapons do have XP, which is how you're going to unlock your attachments. And even though I got some low levels on these, I did try everything a little bit, but I did tend to lean on the BR for each faction, not gonna lie. Looking at the pistols, you got a light, a heavy, and a burst. And for Aeros, I didn't really care for the heavy that much because of the bolt action. And for equipment, we got a shock disc, which will pretty much stop you in your tracks. Stim shot, self-explanatory. And the portal you can drop pretty much anywhere as long as you're not falling straight down or trying to fly because you'll bonk your head. Meridian carbine and AR are pretty normal. The shotgun is actually a charge, kind of like in Destiny. And the BR and the SMG rip. Like, that says Phasma, but really they mean plasma, if you know what I'm saying. Looking at pistols, you got the light, heavy, and burst, and the weird one again is the heavy because it's got the charge thing going on. And then equipment, you got the time dome, which will make you fast and make your enemies slow. A regen cloud, which is just going to heal you and your allies. And then the recon radar, which I never use. Pretty much everything Sabrask has hits a little bit harder, or feels punchier, but all around they just kind of feel normal. There's nothing super unique or sci-fi-esque about these weapons. I guess technically the SMG does handle a little bit differently. It's got this actual rattling effect going on where when you use it, it'll just kind of start shaking. It'll become stronger at the end. For pistols, you got the light, the heavy, and the burst, and again, not really much special about these. And for equipment, you have a sticky grenade, a smoke grenade, and a proximity mine, which seem to have a stun effect and a knockback. And another little side note that I forgot to mention before I move on is that factions also have their own XP that's tied to reward tracks. And as you can see, there's empty spaces that are titled #soon. There can't be anything too crazy in there because each faction also gets their own branded power weapons that you can find on each map. Aeros gets the split stream, which is an SMG that can be split in half, as well as the fabled BFB. And Sabrask gets the Fubar rocket launcher, which can shoot 1 or 3 rockets at a time, as well as the Deadbolt sniper rifle. Meridian doesn't have any power weapons as far as we know, so the decision to make this video is getting easier all the time. In this game, portal travel makes it possible for each of these factions' home turf to exist on a different planet in our solar system, and some might get a little creative like Meridian, with Aeros getting Ozone and Bypass, Sabrask getting Frontier and Eden, and Meridian gets Zenith. Although we don't know which faction runs Glacier, we've speculated that it's set on one of Jupiter's moons, and it's also the biggest map in Splitgate 2 so far. The first thing you're going to notice is a lot of snow. And the second thing you're going to notice is supply drops. This map can hold up to 24 players and offers TDM and domination variants of 8v8v8 as well as 6 teams of 4. The other cool mode that you can play in every other map is called Split Ball, which doesn't look or feel anything like what you're used to. This is actually a completely new game mode, which kind of plays like CTF, but if it let you steal from your opponents. And then there's this thing called Firecracker, which is just a sort of bomb defense game mode, and I'm not a big fan of it, so I'm not going to really say much about it. And there's also Hardcore, Chaos, No Breaks, and a 6v6 mode. Hardcore is pretty much self-explanatory. Chaos is going to be every game mode type I just mentioned, but just faster and floatier. And then No Breaks is going to be all the normal game modes, but without any rounds. Alright, I think I pretty much covered everything in the information part of this video. But before I continue, I just want to give one last big shout out to 1047 Games and the Splitgate community. Because some of us have been playing this game since 2019 when the game launched, myself included. Being a part of the community for so long has meant the world to me. I love the game so much I made my own semi-original cosplay character, as well as engaging in some theory crafting, and I was also partially responsible for the red walls on CTF for a short time. I love 1047 Games for being so community driven, and I also love you guys for making such good suggestions in the Discord. Alright, officially into the speculation part of the video, I think it's appropriate to start where we left off. Game modes. The original poster Umbra suggested a standard duos mode, and funny enough was backed up immediately by Endo of all people. I felt like putting multi-team here because a lot of you were asking for different variants like 3, 6, 8, and somebody even suggested multi-team split ball, which I thought was interesting enough to put in its own spot. I know they meant classic split ball, but I can literally picture the fun and chaos of multi-team split ball. And technically we have a big map, but we haven't seen big team on it yet. Unless they end up making the max player count higher, we're only going to see a 12v12, and some people might be a little disappointed that they don't get to play Battle Royale in Splitgate 2. One last confirmed game mode was Search and Destroy, and then we get some weird stuff. Which if people didn't think Splitgate 2 was a hero shooter before, then they definitely will if we add a push mode. And somebody asked for Horde, which wouldn't be so weird if they weren't asking for us to hurt Babu. Come on guys, what did she do? She's trying her best. And last few things are from Splitgate 1, like Takedown, which is everybody's favorite, including Ian, who totally confirmed it for Splitgate 2. And speaking of things that are confirmed, how about teabags? And the last thing is just classic Splitgate. No equipment, no abilities, just frags. This next segment on weapons and equipment comes from our resident mod, Kaza. This post had so many suggestions that I was actually able to collect the data and sort it based off of the most suggested stuff. The first few weapons have 10 or more requests, starting with the minigun, which I can't really say a whole lot about because I always seem to get miniguns and chain guns confused with each other. However, I do feel like having this in the form of a power weapon would be really cool. Next we have revolver/hand cannon, and I'm pretty sure we have these in the form of faction pistols, so congratulations to whoever was asking for these. Next is the grenade launcher, which I've personally asked for myself because I believe anything with an arc going through a portal would make for some really cool gameplay. Next with 8 we have a knife, and you guys couldn't decide if you wanted a throwy knife or a stabby knife. So my proposition is why not get you one that can do both. Also with 8 you guys wanted a bow and arrow, and I've just said a minute ago that I don't mind anything with an arc, so it's cool by me. 7 people wanted a mine launcher, but I don't think I've ever played a mine launcher in a PvP game, just saying. 6 people wanted a lever action rifle, and I'm pretty sure that we did have more of those besides the faction pistol for Aeros. So, I guess congratulations, question mark? 5 people asked for a flamethrower, but 1 person asked for it about 1,000 times. You know who you are. 5 people asked for an arc gun, and anything that can shoot lightning is exactly the kind of science fiction that Splitgate 2 needs. 5 people also wanted dual wielding, and yeah, we do have that, but that doesn't mean we can't have more, right? 4 of you wanted to shoot lasers, but I think I'm going to sit that one out because every time that I picture a laser weapon, I always think of the Sentinel beam. And 4 of you also wanted to see the sword, which I'll only allow if we can see a sword and a BFB clashing, like literal clashing. 1 out of the 3 of you requesting the goo gun as a sussy baka. The other 2 just wanted to be able to shoot a surface with speed goo or bounce goo. Only 3 of you believed in a balanced riot shield, and 3 people also requested a pusher gun, which I'm going to go ahead and take a guess and say that's what the PP gun is. Push-pull. I can't believe only 2 people want to see a Kneeler or a Ripper in this game. You guys make me sad. The last 2 weapons only have 1 request each, but the grav ball gun I thought was pretty interesting because when I looked it up, it said that it was in an alpha version of Unreal Tournament, which I'm pretty old, but I've never played the alpha version of that game, so I have no idea what that is, and I couldn't find any footage of it. And the only thing I can think of with the bubble gun is Splatoon. Right away in equipment, at least 8 of you wanted more grenades, and even though we do get more grenades in Splitgate 2, I still think we need a few more. Meridian! I put anti and troll portal on the same place here with 7 people requesting it, but really there was kind of a divide, because anti-portal was implying that people wanted a cooldown reduction on portals up to 5 seconds, maybe even affecting a wall itself. And the troll portal was more like imitating your enemy portal rather than the porta-portal, which we've already seen in the game. 5 people asked for the trip mine, which has been confirmed, and 4 people asked for a boomerang, which I'm just going to say that's confirmed in the form of the shock disc. Next is the lasso with 4 requests, and I don't remember if I officially voted on this, but I definitely mentioned playing Bulletstorm and thinking it would be really cool to be able to use that energy lasso to yank people through a portal. Grapplog having 3 requests is just proof that this data can't be trusted, because I know at least 10 people personally who've been asking for this, alongside the mantling and sliding that we got confirmed in Splitgate 2. Someone requested a turret, and I'm not really opposed to that idea, although I am concerned about balancing. Next we have a black hole, and I hope they don't mean a literal black hole, and instead maybe like a micro, like a grenade or something. And healing gun was also put in equipment for the same reason why boomerang was. We already got it confirmed with Meridian's healing grenades. And an honorable mention goes to vehicles, because even though I couldn't collect actual data on this, it's no secret that Splitgate's been compared to Halo over the years, and the only thing that's been standing between us and having vehicles is big maps. And now we have those, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Which won't be too long because 1047 Games just announced that we get to see way more when the open beta starts in May. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I can't wait to see what we got right. Take care.